Done it again. PewDiePie's done 1 year of drawing. This is his third videos that he's done. I reacted to the second one. And I tried to react to this one, but it didn't record right, so I'm just gonna go watch it again.
I drew every day for a year. What's the progress? Was it worth it? No way I was gonna stop. I had to do at least a year. And here we are. Being here, I have so many emotions. I am happy.
I would be happy if I'd accomplished something that I haven't done and just did it for a whole year. That's impressive. There was at one point when I started doing digital art that I did it for a solid couple weeks and then I kind of tapered off and didn't do very much for a while, and then I came back to it. So the fact that he's done this for a year is impressive.
Alright, let's dig into it. Let's watch. Sorry, my nails. This is where it all started. 365 days ago.
Bad.
Day one. A self-portrait? It's a beer. Yes. The chin is very big. I probably would have made it something.
Okay, so he's gonna fix it here. I already watched this part. I don't think he needs to fix it because this seems more, the chin is, yeah, maybe a little big, but I think he makes it too small. And this is more realistic proportions compared to the other drawings that he does, which are more anime style. So the face is a little more squished.
Damn, such a simple change and it's already so much better. I realize, and maybe other people have said this too, but drawing is more about training your brain to see rather than actually technical with your hand. I think that's a misconception I had. And I really think here's where I peaked in terms of if you wanted to just improve as much as possible in the shortest time. I think just adding colors on papers is so satisfying to look at that it kind of forgives a lot of the anatomy errors, the poor line work, the sketches still being there. Like, it's just nice to look at regardless. But yeah, this is the last thing I drew for my 100-day video.
For traditional, I would be struggling to make my lines look good.
And yeah, it's cute. I did it. I drew something. So let's check the progress from there on. That's wrong. First of all, don't do what I did. I just kept drawing the same things. Anime girl, too much anime. Just bad. I was trying to be technical and like give myself notes.
Some of these look really good. Some of them
I wanted to be more consistent. I think that's why I kept doing this. But if I had to redo it, absolutely not. This is where I should have moved on to something else. I should have just drawn anything else. And eventually I did. I really wanted to draw more color, but it takes so much time.
I think what he could have done is moved on to like more anatomy, like full bodies instead of just portraits. That would be like a next evolution to that.
To do that, and I really felt like I needed mileage more than anything. So just adding a little bit of color, sure, we'll ink it, but that's the most effort I'm gonna get into. Yeah, just sketching random stuff I find online. Finally,
I'm guilty of just sketching random stuff online too.
Move on, and I draw boys. This is the boys arc. I drew so much guys from anime because I thought I drew so many mangas. You know, this is a good time for me to address a couple things from my last video. Cool. And one of them is just a huge thanks to other YouTubers that reacted to my video. I think that was so cool to see and actually get encouraged by professionals. I really appreciated that.
You're welcome. And I'm not mentioned up there because I'm such a tiny little guy.
Encouraged by professionals. I really appreciated that. Another thing was...
You're welcome, but I was not put there. Let's see, did I watch those other reactions? I know I watched Sam does arts. I think I saw the Rubber Ross one, but I didn't really know who he was, so it made it hard for me to know, but I watched Sam's stuff. He's really fun to watch.
Encouraged by professionals. I really appreciated that. Another thing was that people said I had an art background. That was like a rumor that went around, and I guess I take that as a compliment, but no, I do not. I have not studied art. That was the whole point of this video. I was not being disingenuous. I have not drawn since I was a kid, but I love doing Photoshop. Before YouTube,
Okay, that is actually art. It's just done differently. It's still a creative art form, but let's say for drawing, that's not exactly the same what he did. This is more just editing and stuff. So he did have. I would argue that he had a background if he did stuff like this before, but I wouldn't say he had a background in drawing. If that makes any sense.
loved photoshopping images and creating artworks that way. So maybe in a sense that helped. But I think the biggest sort of thing that helped is that I'm actually older. Like I'm 35 now, and I think if I did this thing when I was younger, I would not have seen the same improvement. But I also think
I don't know about that. I'm not. Maybe you wouldn't see as much improvement because he was busy with other stuff.
You know, the improvement I had, anyone can achieve. Like I wanted my video to be inspiring for other people to do the same thing. Like that's my goal. Like people.
It is inspiring. It makes me want to draw characters because I do a lot of environments and I'm kind of getting bored of that. I should switch it up.
But an insecurity of mine was brewing, which was I couldn't, like if I wanted to draw anime style. Sorry, it's hard to see here. You start with a circle, you draw a middle line, you draw where the eyes are going to be, and then you swirl in some hair really quick. This method is so helpful because when you draw, it's all about balance. Like if I drew directly, same thing, and anything is like out of proportion, the whole thing just kind of looks weird.
Honestly, it's not bad for
to draw directly. It was so difficult. So I bought this pen. This pen is amazing. It's a brush pen, and if
it's a different skill altogether. But if you practice enough and you're good at like spacing things and all that, it's gonna be too bad.
You squeeze it, ink comes out, and you can draw really slim lines or really thick lines really quickly.
Awesome.
And I told myself I was going to force myself to use this pen, even though it looks like shit. I was going to really I'm going to use this pen. I need to learn how to draw without the whole circle thing again.
You can do that with
At least that's what I wanted to do. And it took some time.
And once you start doing this, it goes way faster. You just gotta be very thoughtful on your strokes that you make. This isn't too far off from painting, actually.
It felt like taking 100 steps back, but that's how you have to improve. You know, you have to get out of your comfort zone. But I think eventually I started to sort of get the hang of it.
Some of these I really like.
You can get kind of really quickly satisfying result with the high contrast. I really enjoyed.
I love the high contrast.
I did some manga panels, and yeah, it feels like I'm looking at a manga. It's really cool.
I really like this one right here. I don't know what it is. It just looks good. I think it was nice because there was some gray in here, so there's like a halftone. I don't know. I just feel like this is a really nice drawing right here. And it's not as squished in anime style either.
Getting more comfortable.
A stretched out one. Oh, I see what he did. He painted over it or brushed over that.
It's still so hard with proportions, man. Like anything.
So funny how he just covered it up like that.
Is slightly off, it's gonna suck. So yeah, this.
Yeah, when you're doing something different, you're gonna suck at it, at least for a little bit.
Felt like a little side quest, but I'm glad I took it.
No, I think this is sweet. He should do more of this stuff. I really like it.
And yeah, it was really fun. But what I should have been doing is draw other things as well.
Yeah.
I did find it amazing, like how I could all of a sudden, even though I never practiced drawing a cloud, I could draw a cloud better than I ever could. So that's cool. Okay, I'm done. But I think
faces are really hard to draw. So if you go and try and draw something else that's not as specific where things need to be, it's gonna feel really easy. So I think I would say try that. You should try that.
Something finally sparked in me where before I was like, okay, I just want to draw for the sake of drawing. I don't have any interest in anything. I started drawing manga panels.
I like that background.
Have any interest in anything.
Environment. It kind of like blows my mind a little bit how good this looks. Especially traditional. It kind of like, this blows my mind. he's gotten way better. He doesn't realize how difficult it is to draw buildings like this sometimes. I know there's not a specific perspective, but there's more structure. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
I started drawing manga panels. I started drawing perspective, and I wanted to understand these things. Drawing landscape.
Hold on. Environments. Hold on. Going back. Okay. Environments are actually not that bad. I like this tower in the middle. I like the attention to detail and the not attention to detail that you see in some of the bricks here. Like it's obviously enough to imply that it's a stone or a brick tower. And I think the perspective on this bridge is pretty neat. There's some good form in there too. So I really like that. He's getting better. Wow, that perspective's cool. Oh yeah, oh, getting into the good stuff now. That's what I do. Environments, landscapes. They make me feel insecure for a moment. I don't know. These are definitely sketchy, but I like them. They're good. Well, I mean, not saying that they're finished paintings or drawing. They're sketches, which are good. Like, that's what you need to be good at to come up with ideas. I don't know if he's copying from reference or making up his own. I still think it looks good. The landscapes are cool, but maybe that's just me being biased.
If this is neat. Hey, I love his work so much.
So he's drawing from reference,
so finally,
is my guess.
Finally, after, I don't know, 300 days of drawing, I picked up an art book. I should have done this ages ago. So I picked up a couple art books, some more technical than others, but I really enjoyed this one, Taco, because I enjoyed the style of it. Obviously, everyone has different preferences. I think if you were to be a professional artist, you probably want to pick like a human anatomy book and really study it. But for me, it's just supposed to be fun. And I think if I'm having fun, I will remain consistent.
If people are willing to buy your stuff, you're a professional. I'll tell you that.
So at least that's what I was trying to focus on. I picked up books about perspective because I want to learn and I want to understand.
Or buy your skills for if you're designing something for like a studio or something. It would be like that.
Understand this, and I think finally that clicked in me. It went from me just wanting to sketch whatever to no, I actually want to understand these things so I can draw them better. And I wish I did that sooner. Again, this felt like taking so many steps back because I had
Ooh, I love this panel right here.
no clue how to draw a body.
When I tried to do figure studies and stuff like that, I use all kinds of different methods, but I think this box method's kind of neat because you get the idea of like, okay, this torso is twisting, but the hips are going the other way, belly or your abdomen area kind of twist, but your torso kind of stays the same shape, and the hips can go different ways. I'm not the expert on it, so.
Zero. I had not practiced.
But I find that
it
would be
at all.
Interesting way to look at it.
I had sketched so much, and I still, it feels embarrassing to admit this, but like everyone was so amazed by my 101 that I felt like, okay, well, my year one has to be really good, right? Like, but progress isn't a straight line, like.
Yeah, it's right on. It's like sometimes you make something amazing and then you don't make something good for months or even a year or longer. And it's frustrating, but you just got to keep going and enjoying the process, honestly. Like enjoy your path that you're taking.
I think I was being too hard on myself where I was getting close to a year and I'm like, I don't have anything to show for it. I drew a full body one and I'm like comparing it to my 80-day one and I'm like,
I know his 80-day one, he likes that one better, but I think I can see there's better quality in his new one. I think it looks pretty cool. He has t-shirt and the jeans look pretty cool. The hair on his old one is expressive, but it's kind of a different style. So maybe if he added a little bit of, I don't know, just not as vibrant of colors.
Like the 80-to-1, it's still better. Even though it's just like full body, it's still better. So yeah, if you want to improve, you have to kind of go through the pain of sucking again, I guess. Because it's...
Yeah, you're gonna be... You're always gonna feel like you suck. Like at some point, sometimes you'll feel good, and then you go back down, dip down, and be like,
It really felt like... Oh.
But if he stopped for any period of time, for like a couple months, it would seem way worse. Because you do stagnate a little bit.
Oh, cool. Like, I drew for this much, and I don't have anything to show for it. I think I wanted to learn to draw and actually understand anatomy. Before, it didn't matter to me.
Oh yeah, I like these. These are good.
It was just a hobby, but now I'm like, I want to actually know, like, how do you draw legs? How do you draw different expressions? How do you draw... What is this? You've all been waiting?
His ad's not as cute, so I'm skipping it.
A month. Not only because I wanted to show for the video, but I felt genuinely in me like I can do more. I know I can do more. I know I can do better, and I really wanted that to show. So I really did push myself a lot towards the end here, and that's when I bought an iPad. Coming in clutch.
Okay, I do have a suggestion that if you're struggling, which I probably should apply this myself, is just spend more time on things. Like spend a few days working on the same thing, or a week. You can take breaks in between. I do this all the time for some of my bigger paintings. But if you want to improve, I think just, or trying to break through that barrier, is trying to spend a little bit more time on your stuff. Just being a little more patient. I like that he's going to do iPad stuff, so I'm looking forward to going through that.
Last minute. Super satisfying to draw with a pen on an iPad. But obviously it was way different. So again, it was like a last minute learning curve of me not understanding the program and yada yada yada. So let's go through.
Yeah, that happens.
The last thing I drew, which was on the iPad.
That's honestly why a lot of people get discouraged when they use digital art, is because they're just not used to the tools. I really struggled when I first started doing that.
So I started off just sketching, and I was still too scared to draw bodies. I drew this, which I thought was going to be amazing, and I ended up really hating it. I think the colors are fun, but I didn't know how to draw hair. I
think his biggest issue is the proportion. But I do like that he tried.
At least try to draw like a full body, but I was so scared of getting it wrong that
his sketch had some more movement in it.
At least try to draw like a full body, but I was so scared of...
He did outline the hair. I kind of like it a little bit. At least the style. But I think he could like just break out and not worry about the lines in the digital art. Just kind of have some own like strands off to the side.
Getting it wrong, that I think I just made it look weird. So I practiced drawing hair, but it's just like nothing interesting about it. This is just to try it out. And then I thought, okay, I'm gonna really...
I like this one a lot. Digital's a whole different beast. It can be easier or harder for some people. I think the hardest part with switching to digital is just like things feel a little more slippery. Erasing is just, you gotta go, you're missing something some of the time. I always found that the iPad seemed more slippery to me than the Huion tablet that I have. So actually what I would do if I was gonna transition to one or the other is like jump into color. Just do more sketches until you have a drawing that you like, and then go and color it. But you can always edit things as you're going, so. Yeah, I think the part is just kind of figuring out the coloring method, because there's a whole bunch of ways of doing it in digital art. And honestly, I think it looks pretty clean.
And then I thought, okay, I'm gonna really...
I like this one a lot. Except when he colors it.
I started the line work. I tried my best to draw the actual hands. This is gonna be so good. And this is the end
not terrible
result. And I genuinely hate looking at it.
Just want to say one thing. I feel like he needs to maybe learn about the darks and lights and values. That's going to help really with the illustrative part. Because you can just go crazy with color and all of a sudden you're not really sure where the darks and the lights are hitting. Obviously there's the face part is probably the best, but the hair, I don't really know what's going on with the hair.
I've looked at it so much, it just pisses me off. Even now, I don't want to even... In my head, it was going to be so much...
I still think it's good. But maybe if he did like just black and white or grayscale to start and then maybe go into color. But...
much more, you know? And then you look at it and you're like, oh, cool. That was it.
I know it's ironic that he put it in black and white. Is like, oh, I failed. But there's something cool about this is it's black and white. You can see more clearly where those darks and lights are. So like up in this forehead, it should be a little darker. I think he could come back and work on this one. But I think it looks better in the black and white. And then maybe it would let him kind of see where do these strands of hair cast a shadow. How, because he has it correct right here, where he has the dark edge there, kind of the face in the shadow. But there should be a lighter spot, kind of, I feel like, on your cheek. But that is something, if you need to check to see if there's something not right, put it in black and white and see where things make sense, where they should be dark. Because his hair should be, it is darker, but it should be darker, have more darker shadows in some areas. Hope that wasn't too rambly, but...
I desperately try to draw something else, because...
I like how this one's looking.
I don't know, like, I felt like I could do more, but I kept drawing and I couldn't. Like, it just came out looking weird and unsatisfying.
I think it looks weird because it's just the coloring. It just feels different. And with a marker, it's a little more simplified, or brush pen. Again,
this was supposed to be like the most simplest thing ever. Like,
is that the same blue one?
Like black high contrast with...
Yeah, you're just not quite getting the skin tones quite right. And I think that's where he's struggling. Because I think it looks kind of pale. I mean, maybe that's by design. But if you're going to do that, just leave it white. Like completely white. Or just like a gray. But if you're going to add color, turn up the saturation a little bit. Add maybe a little blush. And then also, there should be a shadow along the top edge of the hair.
With some color. Still, I didn't like it. And I was getting so close to the deadline. I think I have like 20 days left until this video. I drew a full body with perspective, and I thought it came out pretty...
I'm just commenting on stuff because he says he thinks he's struggling, and I'm trying to point out like the spots where maybe that could be what it is. I mean, I could be wrong. Like, it's something to just look at. I'm just giving my gut reaction, my opinions, like, right out there. I could be wrong, but just wanted to get that clear.
Pretty good. I was okay with this one, but I still felt like I could do more.
Awesome.
So I sketched for a couple days.
This one's awesome. I don't think he realizes how good this looks. The perspective looks great. Because things are getting... The foreshortening's actually really good. I'm impressed by this one. The hands don't look too weird. You can tell he spent his time on this.
Came out pretty good. I was okay with this one.
And I like the coloring. There's not the shadows and stuff, which depends on your style. Like some around the neck here. Maybe if you put a little bit on the arms and by the hair. But I really like how he rendered the hair this time. Yeah, it's just basically a flat color. There's some variation in the color on the edge, and then there's this shiny spot on the top. That looks good to me, honestly. I think this might be my favorite one that he's done so far.
one, but I still felt like I could do more. So I sketched for a couple days and I told myself I'm gonna give one last effort. I have to really like it to actually sketch it. And this is the last thing I drew. I finished it yesterday.
I like this one. I like how the hair looks.
And I think I'm fine.
And he has some better highlights here, so you can see more depth in it. I mean, there still could be some darker spots, but
Finally happy with it.
I like how his hair lines look too.
I finally drew clothes that isn't just black, and
He drew some clothes earlier that were, and then one just before this, he drew like a shirt and pants, and then
I actually put some more time into the hair and like making the lines look nice and small
Spent
little
more time on
details
it,
and
that's good.
having the high contrast light. Maybe it's wrong, but it's there at least. And
I'm really impressed with his lighting, because he has this top down. At least, well, there's some things, like there's still something to nitpick, but this concept of how the light works, where it's coming straight down, and the nose pokes out, so it makes sense for the light to hit there. Then on the shoulder, despite some issues you might have with the clothing, but and then there's the shadow of the hand here. It gives me like that he's kind of grasping the idea of how the direction of the light is, and that might help from his time practicing photoshopping and all that. He just understands maybe where to place the lighting and stuff, and that's a big deal.
And I think it makes it more interesting, you know, with some shadows and different pose, you know, all of it. I think I'm finally happy with it. I think for a year progress, yeah. Am I allowed to be happy?
No. Yeah, he can.
It took a lot of paint to get there, you know? Like, let's compare. Day 1, day 365.
I know this sounds harsh, but that's where I would crop it.
I don't know, maybe maybe you guys disagree, but I feel like I finally beat my 80-day whatever.
I think he beat his 80-day on... Here, let me see. You may not feel it this way, but this one's my favorite one that he did. I think he beat that one. The perspective's awesome. I like the facial expression. I like the movement of the hair. I think the pink hair one looks pretty cool too, but I think he got the anatomy a lot better on this one, at least on the body. But I like that he tried something new here.
This is still better. I don't. I genuinely cannot thank you guys enough for all the love and support with making these videos. It was such a massive encouragement for me to actually continue doing this. I'm the kind of person that love to try different things. I try new things all the time, and I really enjoy doing that. But every once in a while,
that's
find
something I like about
really,
him a lot, is he just does a bunch of stuff. I think that's like the big appeal to him. He's just interested in all kinds of things: reading, working out, drawing, 3D printing. I think that's really cool that he does all this stuff.
Really love, and I will continue doing no matter what. And I think art might just be one of those things for me. I used to love drawing as a kid, and I don't know why I stopped, but I'm so happy to be back doing it. It feels like I never stopped. Whole thing also to be inspiring. I want other people to have this experience as well. People say that anyone can draw, and I truly believe that. And it goes for anything really. Like, it's about practice, constant practice, no matter what. It's not rocket science. You put in the work and you get a result for it, hopefully.
Yeah,
like I said, I love to do so many different things. Usually if I try something, people are like, oh yeah, that's cool, well, watch me do it 100 times better.
There's always someone that's going to be better. I feel like that
and
for YouTube videos. When I'm doing these art YouTube videos, it's just like I have these ideas, but I never finish them, and then I see someone post the same thing. I'm like, oh, I'm trying. So it's relatable in the other opposite way for me.
Kind of like, yeah, I'm just a beginner. But with me drawing, it was genuinely just everyone being encouraging, and I think that was just amazing, and I really appreciate that. So yes, thank you everyone. I'll see you guys in the next one. whenever that.
That's something that I think a lot of people don't value about their audiences is like a lot of people like just see the views and sometimes there's some nice comments, but I think the encouragement of stuff is really really important to get feedback. You get people who are watching you and giving them and saying, "Hey, yeah, you keep doing this." There's that encouragement that you get from the comments. And there's also hate, but I like the encouragement part. It's a lot more uplifting, and I like that better.
That will be. I don't know, but it will be.
I really like that video. It was interesting, inspiring. He did some environment stuff. I think that would be really cool to see what he does with backgrounds and landscapes, especially with an iPad. I don't know what else to say. You just keep working at whatever you're working on. If you want to be good at something, you just gotta be consistent and put in a little bit of time every day. Like that's kind of what I believe that to be true. And hopefully that can maybe get me to create more stuff going forward. Until next time, Dartagon out.